Okay, I'll put that.
Only one question. Sorry. Okay, quickly. Because regarding to health and safety the issue, I'm concerned because my understanding the new Health Safety Act will be commenced in this coming April, and also based on the Act, increase the penalty of the organization. So as elected member, whether we will have any penalty regarding to this matter, this particular concern.
So you can't be in prison, but I think I can be. But you are considered officers, so that means that you need to be satisfied that the organisation has the appropriate systems in place to prevent injury, manage health and safety, and it also reflects on your decisions, raising issues to make sure that the decisions don't impact on health and safety as well. But there are, we're happy to provide further workshops. There have been some workshops to provide support around that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
There's a long discussion on this at Audit and Risk.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul.
Just on that health and safety, we had advice yesterday that as an officer, if we are uncomfortable with or not sure on actually how certain aspects of the council operation are going, we should get down and actually go and actually look for ourselves. It seemed to blur the line between governance and management. So there is some issues we need to work through on the whole health and safety legislation bill that's going through.
That's correct. So I think it is about being confident that the right systems are in place and that we're addressing issues. And if that means that you're concerned and do need to go and see how something works, then I think that's just part of your understanding of the system.
Okay.
Do remember that with health and safety and anything like that...
Oh, is this a question?
Oh, sorry. Sorry?
Is this a question or a...
Well, technically, yes. Okay, I'll read...
Go for it.
The fact of the matter is, with health and safety, if you've got, irrelevant where you are, if you've got experts in those fields giving you advice, because none of us are experts in everything, although we are, that would be the advice that you would follow and put into any health and safety process that you do. Is that correct or incorrect? So you can question things, but if you're getting advice from experts, you technically can
Guys,
follow
would
that.
you, this was a long discussion at Audit and Risk, at the last Audit and Risk meeting. Would you guys like another briefing on health and safety?
I've had so many over the years, I'm quite happy thanks.
No, we're not getting the traction.
It's probably timely, given that the new legislation comes in 4th of April, and that we did have an audit in terms of readiness, and that we've been working on some of the issues there to improve education, training, and so forth. So it's probably timely.
Auckland Council, I think, has now just been taken to court over a death with a contractor over a rubbish truck going up a hill. So, I mean, I think we do need to actually...
The contractors are particularly
we need to understand what our liabilities are.
Yeah, and there is work in terms of working with our contractors and expectations.
But it's the council that...
Yes.
So I personally would welcome a workshop.
Okay, thank you. Question, is it Andrew?
Yes, it is. Yep. And it relates to the Akaroa wastewater treatment plants under capital expenditure on page 89. Akaroa wastewater treatment plant is listed as one of the capital projects which is delayed. Now, I'm aware that we're working through some design issues as a result of the failure to consent the outfall. So we're working through some issues with Ngāi Tahu and local Runanga. Those discussions are going well, it's fair to say. I wasn't aware that that had caused a delay to this project. I thought that we were still on target to develop the project within forecast timelines, even with the outcome of the hearing and the additional work that we were doing.
So what this relates to is where the budget was phased in the expenditure of that. So what a large piece of work around the capital expenditure, as you know, has been about when we expect to expend the money as opposed to the heroic assumptions about when it's likely to be.
So this is about timing of the payment rather than timing of the project. So just to confirm, there is no delay to that project. It's just the payment which is going to be made later than we originally anticipated.
Okay, so I'll just check with Dave, but I think that's correct.
Yes, that's right, because what we use as default is carry forward budget on a project. Now, that's only one element of a project. There is time of the project, there's the budget, And some of that carry forward, as Carleen said, is related to where we've phased the expenditure around that project. So we've phased it earlier than what we've spent it, so that will add into the carry forward, but the project is still on track to meet our resource consent requirements and our consultation projects and things like that. We were hoping we would be spending money earlier than what we have, though.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Is it a question, Jan?
Yep.
Yep.
Just, it's related to this report around the cycleway program, but also the previous report, which you went through very quickly. And that was just in relation to the discussion, is there any discussion happening with NZTA about providing off-road cycleways on the roads that they're doing, like the Western Bypass, the Dyers Road, which they're widening, and then maybe others. I know when we did the Southern Motorway, that council actually ended up funding the cycleways. So I just wanted to get a sense of if we've made the request and what the response has been, or if we haven't made the request, how can we make the request?
I can find out whether we've made or whether they've built any of that into the design. I don't actually specifically know on that. But I do know that on other projects they are committed. You will have seen that purple thing that went up in Auckland. That was NZTA around their motorway network. So they are putting in cycleways as part of some of those projects. But we'll find out whether we've specifically done that.
Will you just get back to councillors on that,
Correct.
because it's quite an important issue? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, that would be good.
No more questions? Did you have
just
some?
one other question was just around at the year's end, the forecast in terms of the capital expenditure and the earthquake rebuild. What's the total projected carry forward?
Do we have that?
We haven't. We are thinking it could be, I think it's one, we've programmed into the annual plan 180 million, I think, was the last figure that I heard of carry forward, and that has been then built into the program going forward into the annual plan. There will be an addition over above that. We are just got our quarter half-year result on that at this point in time. Obviously, some of it will depend on what we do today.
Okay, so I just wasn't, the area that I wasn't quite clear on was, in particular, the earthquake rebuild, the 285 million that was carried forward, and then you make reference to 130 of skirt delivered work due to earlier uncertainty of funding under the cost share agreement. So can someone just explain what that means?
What happened is there's three funders into the cost share agreement to make up that 2.93 billion. And so basically ourselves, Sarah and NZTA, slightly more complicated because Sarah's got a bit of DIA money in there. But basically there was a time that Sarah was hitting close to their limit of what their appropriation was. So they wouldn't approve some of those projects. So while they sorted that out, and that's part of the funding of renewals and that program, some of the program got put on hold and wasn't going through the gateways. It's now all gone through, well, no, it's not. Almost all gone through the gateways, and the stuff that's left is there. So, but when I say it's gone through the gateways, a good example would be the Northern Relief, which is sewer scheme. It's gone through the gateway. It's a 6-month design and procurement process before they start constructing on the ground, though, because they have to design. Then they've got to buy the specialised pipe and things like that. So as soon as it's given to Skirt, doesn't mean they could start spending that money tomorrow, and so that delay kind of feeds onwards.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to move something, Yanni?
I did. I just had a resolution that I just emailed through.
Can you put it up, guys? There's a separate one, a 2.
Just an additional.
Do you want to just tell us what it is while they're doing that?
Yeah, I'll just bring it up.
Sympathy.
Yeah. So basically,
Sympathy.
the essence of it is just to have the council as a collective formal resolution express our sympathy and thoughts to the people of Fiji at the impact of Cyclone Winston, and just request that the Chief Executive extend the support of the city to the disaster response and recovery efforts. And I just think it's really important that we acknowledge what's happened. I know that we will have things underway, and I'd like the Chief Executive perhaps just to give a quick response around that. But I do think to recognise, how generous other countries and other communities were to us in our time of need, I think it's really important that we do place on record that we stand alongside the people of Fiji as they deal with what is a really tragic and devastating event, and we make sure that we do what we can do to provide the support that is possible.
Thanks, Yanni. Is there a seconder for that?
Second.
Yep, seconder Jimmy, and I'll just get Carleen to respond.
Yes, thank you for that. And we do all express our sympathy and concern over what's happened in Fiji. So the council's working with the Red Cross and the Indian Fijian Society so that we've got a coordinated response from Christchurch. So we've got fundraising boxes that will be put up in libraries and service centres, and we're promoting that through our website and social media, that a container is being filled with required goods. So they've asked for water, blankets and some specific materials. So both of those, as well as expressing our concern and support.
Okay, thank you. I don't think there'll be any debate about this one, will there?
No.
I think we're fine with it. Can I put both the report and this as well together? Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Yanni.
Thanks, Yanni.
Thanks, Yanni, that's good. Sorry.
Right, item number 12, the East Frame Road stop, Bedford Road, Liverpool Street, etc. I don't know if we'll need you guys, will we? Someone going to move this?
Great.
Paul's moving and Dave's seconding. Is there any debate or questions?